welcome to another episode with entrepreneurs on my channel. Today I'm blessed and pleased to be joined with the main man himself of Crusader Strength, Jacob James. Brother, thanks for coming on. Why don't you start off and kick off by telling the people, first of all, a little bit about Crusader Strength, and then we'll jump into some questions, man, because I'm keen to start picking your brain.
Hell yeah. So Crusader Strength was born just a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
There's kind of a gap in the market for online training, in the sense of anyone and everyone can be an online trainer.
Okay.
You go on Google search and you can find hundreds of people, thousands of people. It's flooded with it.
Okay.
Actual good ones.
Okay, I'm interested to pick a bit deeper into that. So what? So what you're saying that
Good
there's
ones?
too many trainers,
Too many.
too many coaches,
Too many crap ones.
too many coaches, not enough players.
Too many rubbish coaches. Too many rubbish coaches, not knowing what they're doing, trying to just basically get gullible people into taking their money.
Okay.
So the gap in the market is actually for decent trainers.
Okay.
Right. So that's where we stepped in, and I kind of thought, well, I've got, this service that's a good service. I've seen myself a good coach. I've been a coach for years. Why not try and reach a wider and a broader audience with it? So, sort of using my years of actual physical coaching expertise and experience, I've been able to implement that into the online business, because 99% of these trainers online have never coached a single client in their entire life.
Okay.
Yet they've still got hundreds of clients.
Okay. Why is that?
Because of social media, man.
Whoa! All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
right,
So, all right. So first of all, you've been a trainer.
Yeah.
And it was the natural progression for you to say, look, I'm seeing all. So where did that inspiration start for Crusader? So obviously your USP is that you know what the fuck you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
You know what you're doing. Obviously, I know you're a well-educated guy on all the subject matter that you're rocking with and you're putting into the marketplace.
Yeah.
But apart from you obviously knowing that shit, I could do this and I could do it more authentically.
Yeah.
Where was the inspiration to actually jump into the marketplace and start your own show?
It kind of came from about a bit of a negative stimulus, really. I was working at a gym, and I was kind of trying to develop some systems of moving my stuff online while still working in the gym. They weren't massively happy about it. They just wanted to get absolutely on top of me, bring this umbrella on top of me and push me down and keep me where I was, so I was still beneath.
Who's this? The gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to name names, but
don't worry.
it was it wasn't it wasn't a good environment to be in. There was no sort of thriving at all. It was just they wanted to keep me on a leash, very tight leash, and just keep me down there so they could keep their eye on me. Mm-hmm. I'm not about that, man. I want to go up there. I want to push myself up there. So I started pushing myself in that respect. And then when it kind of came to an ultimatum, they were like, look, you stay here. You got to stay for us, work for us. You can't have your own brand. All that sort of stuff has got to be sacked in, and you've got to stay working for us.
Shit.
And it was...
Sounds like a bloody Indian household.
Yeah. It was exactly
the traditional Indian household
like,
mentality. You can work for the family.
It was a very polite fuck you.
Were they the mafia?
Yeah, man.
Sounds like the fucking mafia.
Yeah, man. It was a very polite fuck you, and it was.
Right.
And that was kind of how it spawned. And then just drew inspiration from people who were doing well in the industry to people who actually know what they're doing.
Okay.
And
so what? Give me some credentials that make, for somebody who's out there watching right now, who's thinking about online coaches. Obviously, there's only one you're going to choose now. But what are the credentials that make an online coach valuable in the marketplace?
Right.
Give me some. Give me 2 points that you can look out for and say, okay, this guy genuinely knows what he's doing. He's not just a sick ass marketer.
Yeah. Look at number one tip. Right.
Here we
Don't
go.
look at their bragging rights. Oh, I've worked with this athlete and they've done fucking brilliantly. Look and see how many people they've got on their injury list. Look and see how many people have been able to work around their injuries. So many people have gone to coaches and they've gone to this sort of whatever program, and these people, and they come away injured or worse off from it.
Okay.
And that is abundant in the industry. Right?
Yeah.
You look at a decent coach, right? A decent coach in my mind is you look at the amount of people they've worked with and your injury ratios there, and see how that goes. Right?
Okay.
So I've always specialised a lot.
But do people put their injury lists out there?
No.
So how's somebody supposed to look at the injury list?
Speak to the coach, man. Get to know him. It's their job as much as the coach is to find out about them as it is the coach to find out about the athlete, right?
Okay.
It's the client's job.
Hold on, say that again for me. Say that again for me for the people.
Right. It's the client's job to find out as much about their coach and their credentials, their history, their injury lists, their who they've worked with, the spectrum of the people they've worked with. All that sort of stuff is valuable.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
and whose responsibility is that?
That's the client's responsibility.
That's the client's responsibility.
That's the client's
responsibility. I like that.
It's as much the coach's responsibility to put that information out there, but more the client's responsibility to find that information.
Yeah. So do your research. Be well informed.
Yeah,
do your
absolutely.
research.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay. Cool. So why Crusader?
Why Crusader?
Obviously, when I heard Crusader Strength, the first thing that came to me was these men wielding crosses, going and taking over countries.
Oh, yeah. So how I came up with the name, is that you're asking?
Yeah. Why Crusader Strength?
Right. There's
Obviously, it takes a hell of a lot of strength to do that. These crosses are heavy as hell.
Mate, there's two reasons why Crusader Strength. The one is sort of not as glamorous. The other one is just a bit more of a meaning to it. The first like way I discovered it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shit you. I'm a huge Batman fan.
Oh shit.
Right, what's the Batman's nickname? The Capes.
Cape Crusader.
Hell yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm happy I got
Capes
that
Crusader.
right.
Like
Donnie
that?
was even thinking that got you sweating, didn't he?
Yeah, like that. Capes Crusader,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So that was kind of like the first time I heard of the word Crusader. Second one is everything in this game. It's a mission, right? Everything's a plan moving forward. It's you're trying to strive forward, move forward. You've got battles. You've got this to deal. You've got that to deal with. So it's like a crusade. It's like a mission.
Okay. Got you.
There we go. That's how it was born.
Okay, cool. So, as I'm looking at Jacob here on my right, on your left, an unknown fact to you guys right now is that I was actually in school with his older brother. And bro, the resemblance is strong now that I'm
Is it
with
really?
you. Yeah, the resemblance is strong. What
I'll tell him he's a lucky bastard.
Fuck it. Oh yeah. Hey. So one of the things we discovered about you this morning, as it happens, was I always like to find out the challenges people have been through and what people have had to overcome, because challenges build character, right? And a little known fact to me is that this is your your ninth life?
My ninth life. I'm down to my last life.
So talk to me a little bit about what happened in that circumstance where eventually he ended up having to be resuscitated over 8 times, and for that reason you're fortunate enough to be here, sitting here today. So walk me through it, man. What happened? And is this flipping out? Was this part of that injury list? Were you listening to a coach when this shit went down?
Oh, good.
Point the finger if it needs to be pointed. You know what I mean? Was it your own injury list?
It was my injury
I
list.
nearly killed myself doing the training.
Yeah, I don't tell anyone that stuff. No, not listening to that sort of stuff. No, I've had an arrhythmia issue since I was 18, and that kind of, it's called atrial fibrillation. It's not drastic. It's not too bad. What happened last year in August when I actually went into cardiac arrest and had a heart attack? It was just a shitstorm of
August?
Savage consequences.
So that's less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's like 7-8 months ago.
Yeah, I was at work 3 days later.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was just a bad series of like a combination of events and a series of events in a really shitty circumstance that led me to that.
What did you learn from that whole experience of?
It's the best thing ever to happen to me.
Okay.
I tell that to anyone. Wow. Having a heart attack was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's a bit shit that it took that for me to realise like true gratitude, right? Like being just truly grateful to wake up in the morning and actually just be alive. It's ridiculous.
Shit.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
When you're truly grateful to just wake up in the morning and be alive, right? Everything else on top of that becomes an opportunity, right? Everything becomes an opportunity. You start seeing more luck and more opportunities in anything else when you're just grateful for being awake in the morning. When you're grateful the fact that your Instagram likes going off the list, that's not true gratitude. True gratitude is being able to be grateful for just everything you have right now.
And that's what that whole experience taught you, the main thing.
Yeah.
How does somebody, obviously without having to go to the depths of, having a heart attack or nearly dying, how does somebody practice gratitude? What kind of things can they do in their day-to-day or their routine to help them get to that point where they can see these opportunities that you're talking about?
First of all, you can do the old standard, writing 3 things down in the morning, 3 things in the evening. I'm a big fan of that. I've done that for a while.
Nice.
I've done that for quite a while, and as you kind of get better at doing that, you kind of realise more things you're grateful for. Because you start off and you're thinking, well, I'm grateful for the fact the sun's out today.
Yeah.
But then you start getting deeper. You start feeling like, I'm grateful that I've got some exciting opportunities ahead. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning and I felt fresh. Just little tiny things like that.
Yeah.
But things that put it into perspective, right? This might sound really, really stupid. Is go and take a family member you're relatively close to. I'm going to take them out for lunch. Right? Leave your phone in the car and just go and talk. Right? So I've done things like take my gran to the garden centre. Right? She doesn't give a fuck about how many Instagram followers I've got. She doesn't give a fuck if my photo gets a certain amount of likes. and I just like being able to listen to her day and how things, the sort of things that are going on in her life. And for her, it's like gardening.
Yeah.
Right? Sun's out today and there's not much water going on.
Yeah.
And those are the things that matter to her.
So it's kind of a way to ground yourself.
And it just puts perspective on things. It just really puts perspective on things. And yeah, like you said, absolutely, it just helps you, bring you back to the ground a bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Listen, if you need some help, being grateful. If you're in a mindset of entitlement and things are always, you always need things to be better and you can never see what you've actually got. Maybe that's an opportunity for you guys to take on that, technique on board. 3 things in the morning, 3 things in the evening. Keeping a journal is something that I do myself, writing it as much as I possibly can, not daily, because I use it as a reflective tool when things are either going great or aren't going great. It gives me that understanding of, it's like a checkpoint system, right? And in the mornings and in the evenings when you take it, how long does it take to do something like that?
Couple of minutes.
I can guarantee you for a fact it's not going to take as long as you sitting on social media every day. Look, we're all guilty of it, right? Fortunately for me, it's my business, so I've got an excuse. But it's a technique you can use, so don't take it lightly. But coming back to social media, okay, so you've referenced, the like count, you've referenced the follower count. What do you think about social media, and more specifically, the impact it's having on our generation, people in their 20s?
You can't argue it, you can't avoid it. It's happening, it's been happening, and it's going to continue happening.
Okay.
It's the best and worst thing ever to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me some points on each.
Best reason, I'm sat now at a desk and I've got my phone right there.
Yeah.
I can reach one of my coaches in America, speak to him, see how he's getting on with his clients. I've got a client in Croatia. I can check in with them and see how they're doing. Before social media, before anything like that would have been, a difficult task.
Yeah.
So it's great in the sense of, I get to reach exponentially as many people as I can and want to, right?
Yeah.
It's bad in the sense of anyone can be anyone.
Okay.
And I mean that, okay, if we keep this specific to coaching terms, right?
Yeah.
Let's take, right.
So it's a dangerous place, if that's the case.
Dangerous place. You've got to be very careful. There's so many people out there who have masses and masses of followings who don't have a Scoobies what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you come across people like this.
Some of them are clients.
Yeah, exactly. And it can be a very dangerous game in that respect because they've got this power to influence people. I mean, like fucking Kim Kardashian with the skinny lollipops and shit like that.
I wouldn't know. I don't follow her, but
man,
I know you follow her.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro. It's like it can be a very dangerous place in that sense. But on the flip side of that, hell yeah, I get to reach so many people and for a positive impact, and so many other good coaches get to do that as well. So
and how important is social media to your business right now and what you're doing?
Huge. Yeah,
okay, so if we remove social media right now, what alternatives do you have to promote in the same way?
Absolutely, go and stand in the corner with a sign.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's imperative. It's absolutely paramount.
It's
cornerstone, man. Yeah, it's a proper cornerstone.
Okay, cool. Now let's talk about why and where you're going. So I'm fortunate enough to say that Jacob is now a client and a partner of Social Agendas, and we're going to be working very closely together and giving him more and more of what he's already doing in a way that it can convert to make your impact even bigger and better. Now, I'm not your first partner in this sense in terms of mentoring, coaching. You've invested in yourself in the past. Now, where does this mindset of continual education, because people out there, right, they struggle to see the long-term plan. Right, everything. Social media is a killer for it. You post something, you want to see the likes. Give me some likes. It's a physiological effect that it's having on us as people, right? Now, where does the mindset come from with yourself? Where did you develop this passion for learning, applying, failing, and then doing what works and learning more and investing in yourself and your education?
Yeah, I think with a lot of people, sometimes you either have it or you don't. It can definitely be learned and trained, but I've been a competitive athlete since I was 9 years old. Yeah. And there's
doing
a lot.
Doing what?
So I started off cycling first. I did that for 10 years. I've done cycling, running, athletics in terms of like track and field.
Yeah.
I've done strongman, weightlifting, powerlifting, CrossFit. So I've done quite a lot, man. You know.
Yeah.
So having that competitive mindset of
Oh God. Can't get the stuff. That's actually my phone. That's actually my phone. Oh no, we ain't cutting. We're gonna keep rolling.
Let's keep going.
Oh, it's my. Talking to grandma, is this my grandma? I'll have to give her a call back.
Check in, man.
Let me turn this off. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
Number one.
I'm gonna call Liz now to test this. Anyway, back to it.
On silent, face down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mindset. Where does this education mindset and this investment mindset come from?
So it comes from the fact of like that competitive mindset. I think has helped massively, because when you're an athlete, you've experienced this yourself. There's no end point, right? You know, you get to a certain level, and you're like, okay, you can always push yourself further and further and further, and you've got to make those mistakes. You've got to learn on the way to get there. Right? Now, for me, whatever I've done in my life, I've always given it 110%. Whether it was playing darts, whether it was playing table tennis with my mates, I would obsess over it, and I would give it 110% just so I could beat them, just so I could be better than him or better than her, whatever it might be. Because to me, stagnation and complacency are the enemy. Right? The moment I start getting complacent, the moment I start, becoming stagnant, that doesn't happen.
Right. So what's driving you? What are your main drivers? I mean, there's a lot of different things that motivate us in the world. Obviously, we all need a self. We need to be independent financially as well as in thought. Right. We need the freedom to think. What are the things, if I said to you now, look, bro, you're gonna have to go back to working a job. Entrepreneurship's dead. Right? The government rules it out. You don't want to leave the country. You have to go back to a job. What are those real drivers that make going back to a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 8, whatever the job is, so unattractive for you? What are the things that make you think, you know what, I can't fucking do that? What are the things that are most important that are driving you to keep going when things get hard? You know what I mean? Like it's not all roses and ribbons, is it?
No, it's not. So yeah, for me, there's a couple of different reasons. One's a bit more selfish, one's not as selfish. So my family's the biggest one. I want, it's my mum and stepdad's anniversary next year. 10-year anniversary, and I want to do a nice big trip, and I want to be able to have as much part in that as I can. I want them to enjoy their life as much as I can enjoy mine. So family, even like my nieces, all that sort of stuff. I want to have an impact on their lives in a positive way.
So it's the contribution.
To their life.
First one is the impact and the contribution you can have to your loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive driver.
Massive one. The second one is,
on the flip side of that,
go on,
because I've spoke to you about this before. So I always, I'm a heavy believer in a teaching that Tony Robbins has produced, which is, the human brain is wired to either be motivated to action by either pain or pleasure, right? And the pleasure is obviously the nice things. You want to do nice things for your nieces. You want to do, things for your parents, whatever it is. But what would you say is more of a driver if we put these two things head to head, giving them all those things, right? Or the thought and the pain of never being able to give them those things? What would you say is a more influential driver?
The thought, I'd probably say the positive.
The positive.
The
so getting it to them. So the pain, you'd say, is not really relevant, because if you didn't, nobody would have lost that. Nobody would have lost that anyway.
I'm not saying it's not relevant, but I think the more driving factor would be the thought of being able to do all that stuff for them.
Yeah, nice. What else? What about yourself?
On a more selfish level.
What about selfishness? Isn't entrepreneurship by nature selfish?
Absolutely.
Is there anything wrong with being selfish?
Not at all. No, because it's selfish in a way that it's
we're
not selfish.
going to get a big quote on that one. I like it.
You know what I'm saying? So I've got these selfish reasons for wanting to succeed and wanting to do well, but then these selfish reasons branch out to then to
the impact.
Exactly. It's selfish in a way, it's not selfish in another. The system, I hate the system. You
hate the system.
I hate the system in the fact of
the traditional system.
You're programmed at school to work for an employer. You're supposed to do a repetitive monkey task until you're 65, and then you retire, and then you're supposed to enjoy your sunset years. No, it doesn't work for me. Like, there's no reason why you can't love what you do.
Monkey task. Don't be a monkey.
Don't be a monkey.
Be a gorilla.
That's what I'm saying. Had that lined up for you, man.
Yeah, man.
So that whole nature. I just think the system's dying. And obviously there's no reason why we can't do what we love, have an impact, enjoy our lives in our early years. Why do we have to wait for a retirement? Why do we have to wait for a payout that might never come? So
It might never come, as you know from
exactly.
your experience and
Exactly.
your example leading the way. Shit, nothing's guaranteed. Could be out of here soon.
Absolutely, man.
Hopefully not too soon. What about business on a broader context? Who are the people who are obviously inspiring you to think bigger, take action, and to have a bigger impact? Who are some individuals out there who are helping you on your journey, even if you don't know them?
I was going to say, so some of these are like way out there, people I'm never going to meet in my entire life. So I'll start there and sort of work my way backwards.
I never say never, but yeah.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
The impact that guy is having on our life and our next generation is just incredible.
Yeah.
You know, you can't argue that what he's doing is just.
mad.
We're all here, and he's miles ahead.
It's just mad. There's just the
Absolutely
sheer
crazy.
fact that he started PayPal. It's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
It's crazy, isn't it? And like all the stuff he's got going on, and all the stuff he's bringing out in the future.
Yeah.
He's just so far. He's just so far ahead of the times that, you know, stuff like that is.
So
just
he's
absolutely
a big
incredible.
inspiration.
Big inspiration.
Who else?
I'll go with Ben Francis as well.
Okay, nice.
Ben Francis, because that's a bit more close to home. It's local. It's represented the brand and all that sort of stuff. And again, you know, he's someone that's, you know, if everyone else on business is here, he's 3 steps ahead. He's already thinking about everything, you know, and obviously you've seen the growth of the company that he's got.
Of course, amazing.
It's absolutely incredible.
That's Birmingham.
He's Birmingham based, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And you know, I relate to him because on the age sense of things like that, and I just love the way his mind works, and you know, everything he's done for the company, even stepping down from CEO, so it allows him time to free up his imagination and work forward thinking.
Yeah.
So all that sort of stuff is absolutely fantastic.
Give me one more.
One more. Okay, so bring it back even further as well. So, you know, my old boss, his name's Phil, right?
Is this the mafioso?
No, not my
Oh,
first.
right.
No. This is a good place to work. This is before that place. Okay, so he, you know, he was a PTI in the Marines. He was a drill sergeant training these Marines.
Yeah.
You know, he came back and he's set up a gym, and he's very driven. Okay, I think we've all got to be driven in this game to do well. But he was the first person who saw a spark, who saw like my spark and saw what I could do.
Yeah.
And has stuck with me ever since.
Amazing.
So yeah. Quite close to home.
What's his name?
Phil.
Phil what? Come on, give him a proper shout out, man.
Blundell, it's for you, man.
Big man. Okay, cool. To wrap things up, man, what piece of advice would you give to anybody who's thinking about, you know, switching from the safety blanket that they're in?
Yeah.
What are the most key ingredients to ensuring that they're going to be successful in whatever they do, you know, whatever business, social enterprise, whatever it is? If somebody's on that fence and they're thinking, you know, they're watching this right now and they're thinking, you know what, I love this shit.
Yeah.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
And, you know, they're saying things that I believe in. It's all resonating with them. How can you prepare them? What piece of advice can you give them?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the most important thing that they need to know in order to ensure that they have the best chance for success in their business?
Okay, so this kind of stems from both athletic, business, coach sense, right?
Yeah.
And if you have like a strong enough belief and you can visualize it, you can see it ahead, and you have a clear vision, as clear as daylight, to the point where you think it's reality, even though when it's not and it's in the future, if you can see that vision clear as day, and you have enough self-belief in that, it's going to work, and you stick with it.
So self-belief,
Absolutely.
number one.
Absolutely, number one.
Okay.
You know, you're going to have people sticking fingers in your face and saying you're no good, saying you can't do it, saying it's a terrible idea, and you're going to have that, and it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
But having that self-belief just trumps a lot of it. So
How do you practice self-belief? How do you... Obviously, I know it's a tough one. It's a hard
tough
question.
one.
I've got to ask you the hard question.
It's a
How
tough
do I
one to
practice
answer.
self-belief? Obviously, is there a technique that somebody can use? Is there a system that they can start programming their mind?
Yeah.
Are there things that they need to get rid of?
Yeah.
Or, you know, you're saying people are pointing fingers in their faces. Why are those people even in the same room?
absolutely, man. Yeah, so like decluttering. So when I had this big incident last year, one of the first things I did was I went through my friend list on Facebook and Instagram and just got rid of any negative vibes, anything that wasn't sort of putting me on an even playing field or a positive impact in my life. I got rid of them. Simple
So,
as
circle of influence,
Circle of
social
influence is
media
massive.
is obviously a massive one.
Yeah,
You went
yeah.
in there and you
Yeah.
filtered out all the shit.
that. Yeah. You know, I said the 5 closest
What would you
people around
classify as the bad
Pardon me?
vibes? Because bad vibes, some people may perceive it. Because one of the things that I, you know, speak a lot about is your circle of influence, and the big impact it has on your chances for success.
Yeah.
And your performance, right? And these people that even if you think, you know, sometimes seeing a super yacht
Yeah.
worth 20 million,
Yeah.
people get motivated by that. But at the same time, seeing a super yacht worth 20 million might have an adverse effect because you're not thinking long term, you're thinking, how do I get as much money in quickly as possible so I can try and get to a place where I can afford something like that. So it works both ways. What kind of negative impacts and energies did you declutter?
So unfruitful relationships is a big one for me. People who I'm guilty of this, and I'm still guilty of it. I've been guilty of it my whole life. Is bending over backwards for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. So just kind of having that awareness and that realization of would they do the same for me? If I was in the same position, I've gone through some tough times. Were they there for me when I needed them? I was there for them when they needed me. Would it work in
The opposite way.
The opposite way. So stuff like that. That was probably the biggest takeaway from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that easy? Was that a hard process?
That was easy.
It was easy. Yeah, you could get rid of them fuckers.
Edward Scissorhands, mate.
All right, cool. So look, you've got a few pieces there. I'm not going to give you, an hour special with this guy because I want to get him back on and I want him to have some more amazing stuff to share with you. Self-belief. If you're starting out, you need to have the visualization. You need to be able to see yourself as who you want to become before anybody else can see you as that person. Would you agree?
100%.
All right, good. I hit that one on the head. Decluttering, getting rid of this shit energy in your life. I'm very passionate about cutting off the dead weight. It's holding you back. It's not allowing you to prosper and be who you need to be. Get rid of them. Be disciplined. Try it. I say, look, do it for 2 months. Do it for 6 months. See if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, go, listen, it's a click of a button. Go follow all of those influences that you think are positive that might be having a negative impact. Trial different things. And it's all about finding what works for you. And if all else fails, just practice gratitude, right? Don't try and have a heart attack just to be grateful in the mornings. Be grateful for what you got. It's not just about what you have materially, it's the relationships you have. Obviously, your grandmother's relationship with you is a big one, and you're using that as a really positive thing to get perspective and to reflect on your journey, which is amazing. Thank you, bro.
Cheers, man.
Listen, amazing. Leave your comments, guys. I want to know, do you agree what my brother here is saying? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Somewhere around here, you should have the opportunity to give some feedback. Drop a comment. Let me know. I'll make sure that I get to see it and I'll reply to it. Till the next one.
Yeah.